Medieval Secrets. What was really hidden under the sheets? Subscribe to the channel Lived History and leave a like on the video. We are about to immerse ourselves in an era far from our own, the Middle Ages, commonly defined as the Middle Ages. A fascinating period, rich in traditions and curious habits, even when it comes to beds. These spaces were not simple places to rest at night, but real indicators of the economic status of the family. Surprising, isn't it? Medieval beds were very different from ours, shorter but also wider. The reduced length was due to the fact that people slept in a semi-seated position, with the torso and head supported by high pillows. This posture aided digestion and reduced the discomfort of gastroesophageal reflux, a common disorder due to the diets of the time. As for width, the situation was quite different. Sleeping alone was an exception. Under the covers there was room for husband and wife, children and, in some cases, even important guests. In the 14th century, for example, the bed of the rich merchant Francesco da Tini and his wife Margherita measured 3.5 meters wide. A real parade ground. It was not uncommon for servants, monks, or travelers to sleep in the same bed, especially in the inns of large cities, where up to 6 people could sleep in one bed. Even in hospitals, the sick shared their beds with other patients. Hygiene left much to be desired. People often slept naked, even the sick and dying, to reduce the risk of infestations by fleas and other parasites. This is attested by literary sources and miniatures of the time. However, it was common to wear a cap to protect the head from the cold. During the night, the fireplace, present only in the richest rooms, was turned off to avoid fires. The cold was a constant enemy. Poorly sealed windows let in icy drafts, and the floors, often in beaten earth, increased the humidity. For protection, furs and layers of blankets were used over sheets. Beds were raised on thick wooden platforms to insulate them from the cold, damp ground. And the wealthier slept on mattresses stuffed with wool or goose feathers. The less fortunate, on the other hand, made do with mats or straw mattresses. In the Middle Ages, the bedroom was not just for resting. It was a truly multifunctional space. One ate, received guests, played, and even studied. In many homes, next to the bed, there were niches in the wall with shelves and sinks, as well as cupboards full of plates and glasses. The fireplace, in addition to heating, was often used for cooking. Furniture was designed to optimize space. Chests and boxes served both to store clothes and objects and as seats, while tables were often dismantled and stored vertically after the meal. Even benches with backs could be reconfigured to allow for comfortable sitting in front of the fire. The level of comfort of a bedroom depended strictly on the economic status of its owners. The higher the social position of the family, the more luxurious the room. Sumptuous beds with richly decorated canopies, pillows covered with fine and perfumed fabrics to cover the smells of the street. The bedrooms of nobles were not only private spaces for rest, but also places intended to host important meetings. Receiving guests for a game of chess or for a private conversation in one's room was not at all ambiguous, as it might seem today. Visits to the bedroom were not only reserved for special events such as a birth, an illness, or a bereavement, but often also very important issues were discussed there. An emblematic example is that of Charles VI of Valois, who used to receive his advisors while lying half-reclined on his imposing royal bed. This bed, entirely covered with fabrics of an intense blue, a very expensive pigment reserved for sovereigns, was a true symbol of power. In 14th century France, there was even a bed of justice used to hold important trials. This bed was located in a specially furnished room with a raised throne for the king, surrounded by tapestries that recalled the concept of the bed as a symbol of authority. Another example of a sumptuous bed was the parade bed, intended to impress visitors during official ceremonies. For example, the bed of Charles V of Valois was so imposing that it measured about 40 square meters, almost a small room in itself. In the Middle Ages, the bed was not just a piece of furniture, but a true indicator of social prestige. Its importance is demonstrated in chivalric romances such as Lancelot of the Lake, 12th century, and in the 14th century tales of Boccaccio, where the bed is often the scene of intrigues, forbidden loves, secret negotiations, and even murders. Ultimately, in medieval society, the bed was not just a place of rest, but the heart of domestic and political life, a silent witness to alliances, betrayals, and passions. Subscribe to the channel Lived History and join the community. Bye.